Two Wisconsin residents are charged with using cyanide, the poison, attempting to kill two women. It's a story News 3 Now continues to follow. The victims and their families are recovering.
And that story is eerily similar to one that rocked the country nearly a half-century ago. Tonight, a Madison woman shares how her family continues to heal from the historic event.
I was his little girl, so I went everywhere with him, right? So on that particular day, I happened to be with him when he took me to the store.
Kasha Janis was 4 years old when her dad took her to the local grocery store in Arlington Heights, Illinois.
In fact, it ended up being my last time with him.
She remembers playing around in the pharmaceutical aisle.
I didn't realize that where we were, the Tylenol, all the over-the-counter medications were right there.
Her dad picked up some extra-strength Tylenol, put it in his basket, and they headed home.
I was in my room with my brother when I heard my mom scream.
Kasha found her dad on the floor, unresponsive.
I said, "Tata, wake up. It's me. I know you're playing a game. Just wake up." But he didn't.
They'd been told her dad had a heart attack, but it made no sense.
My dad was a very healthy man. There was no signs of him being sick whatsoever.
She has a clear memory of being in her favorite spot in the living room when her aunt and uncle arrived.
My uncle, he just lost his best friend, and so he was shocked. And so he was like my second dad. Like, I was very close to him as well.
Grief-stricken, the couple headed to the kitchen and, thinking nothing of it, took some Tylenol.
I think it was just all the shock and the grief that he had to endure.
Soon after, her aunt and uncle both collapsed.
Next thing you know, I wake up and I'm in the hospital.
Doctors were afraid it was something contagious and had the family quarantined.
I remember being super scared because I had no idea why I was behind bars.
Finally, they put the pieces together.
It must be the Tylenol.
Lab tests confirmed the news that shocked the Janis family and sent the world into panic.
The capsules were tainted with cyanide.
4-year-old Kasha didn't know her family was part of a historic tragedy. 4 other people in the Chicagoland area had also died. Today, Kasha is vocal about her story because she doesn't want the 7 victims or survivors to be forgotten.
We don't really hear about how these survivors, when they've lost their loved ones, how did they survive after that? Nobody tells that story anymore.
Kasha's mom, Teresa, an immigrant from Poland, had to learn English and learn to drive in order to work.
She's the strongest woman I've ever met, and I always remind her that. And I don't think she realizes how strong she really is through all of it. Reflecting on how my mom was able to survive through all this, that it really took a community, it really took a village to help us be where we are today.
Kasha struggled living without her dad.
There was so much of me that I just wish my dad was there with me in moments that I really needed him.
It took years of therapy to realize she had guilt.
You know, if I hadn't gone down that aisle, maybe my dad would have still been alive, and my aunt and my uncle, and I always blamed myself.
But it turns out the Tylenol was on her dad's list. It wasn't her fault, but the grief stuck around.
For anyone who has gone through loss or trauma, I think they're always healing in some way. You know, it's never going to go away. There's always going to be highs and lows.
An open investigation more than 40 years later.
I do hear from the detectives once in a while. Something comes up.
But to Kasha, her family's legacy matters more.
And for me, what's important is getting to know more about the stories about my dad and my aunt and uncle at this point in my life. It's really important for me to find out more of who they are.
When Kasha caught wind of the story here in Wisconsin where women were poisoned with cyanide.
2 people are in custody after a hazmat incident in Madison near campus. The latest details in an ongoing Department of Justice investigation. It's all ahead on News 3 Now.
Anytime I hear the word cyanide, it takes me back, and it just makes me go, we're supposed to use these stories as a lesson. It was just horrific to hear that there were people out there that would do that.
But this local news story is just a small blip on the radar in her journey. Kasha celebrates a happy ending despite the pain. And when asked what she thinks her dad would say if he were here today,
he knows that I have the heart to be able to keep shining my light, to tell my story in a positive way. My mom would always say, "You're just like your dad," which is a good thing. And I'm really happy that I do have my dad's qualities, because this is what my dad would have done. He is someone who would want to help others as well. He would tell me to keep keep going, keep shining your light.
And thank you to Kasha for that story. Earlier this year, by the way, Netflix happened to release a special called The Tylenol Murders. Kasha declined to be interviewed for that, but says the docuseries was well done. She's happy that producers spoke with victims' families, some of whom have lingering questions about what exactly happened and who is responsible.
On News 3 Now at 10. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson.
We begin tonight with a Madison police officer suffering from serious injuries after getting struck head-on during a chase over the weekend.
That's right. According to a post from Capital K-9, both Officer Ryan Kimberly and his K-9 Freddie were pulled from the squad car moments before it was engulfed in flames. It started about 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon when Monona police got a call about a tow truck driving recklessly.
The driver, 36-year-old Christopher Bruger Jr., led police on that chase before hitting Officer Kimberly's car, according to the Madison Police Department. Now, K-9 Freddie was only minimally hurt, but Officer Kimberly, we are told, is in serious but stable condition. Meanwhile, they say Bruger jumped out of the truck.
We now know the date of the final pretrial conference for the man charged with killing another man outside of a Fitchburg bar earlier this year. Rodney Golden will return to court on December 11th. The charge stems from a stabbing outside of Cornerstone Grill, formerly known as Monkey Shines Bar and Grill. Back on May 6th, Golden and the victim, 39-year-old Myron Dunlap, got in a fight at the bar. Records allege Dunlap slapped Golden. Then the two went outside, and that's where Golden allegedly stabbed Dunlap and then left the scene. The district attorney charged Golden, and he has pleaded not guilty. Police are searching for a man they say inappropriately touched a woman in an elevator in downtown Madison. It happened on University Avenue near the Kohler Art Library, September 9th. Take a look. The caller said she was in an elevator with this man when he tried to engage in small talk before touching her inappropriately as she left. If you have any information about this incident or know this man, you're asked to please call the Madison Police Department. The number there is 608-255-2345. If you would also like to remain anonymous, you can call the Madison Area Crime Stoppers. Attorneys for the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk made an appearance in court today. Tyler Robinson is charged with 7 counts, including murder. The 22-year-old was not in the courtroom but made an appearance virtually. Robinson's defense lawyers asked the judge to schedule another hearing in 30 to 60 days. They say they need time to review what prosecutors call a substantial amount of discovery in the case. The next hearing is set for October 30th, when Robinson will appear in person. And if convicted, he faces the death penalty. Board of Education has voted to raise the annual stipend for its members from $8,000 to $15,000. Along with this annual pay raise, board members will also get $100 for attending and participating in half-day retreats, and then $200 for full-day retreats. While the board approved its raise, it unanimously shot down a motion to make board members eligible for district health care. Board members also voted against receiving a $3,500 yearly stipend for professional development. Well, Madison Magazine is celebrating some of its Best of Madison winners tonight with a tasting party at the Edgewater.
And our Jalen Banks was down there soaking it all in, all the festivities from tonight's event. Jalen, thank you. Meanwhile, News 3 Now, Susan Simon finished in the top 3 for Best TV Personality, and Channel3000.com won Best Local News Website. And still ahead at 10, President Trump hosts Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, hoping to finalize a peace deal in Gaza.
Plus, the president also sits down with congressional leaders at the White House as the threat of a government shutdown in